Ext um, let me pull up the form. Okay. Should I share my screen?
Yes, and everyone welcome James from Teen Council at Los Angeles Public Library, Robertson Branch Library. And James is going to talk about their zine call for submissions. Thank you. Take it away.
Hi. So our zine, the theme that we agreed on at the Robertson Teen Council is Los Angeles, past, present, and future. And I can read from the intro that we wrote a little bit just to give you guys a sense of what it's about. So, we said this zine was created by the Robertson Teen Council. We are a collective of three teens who live in the Pico-Robertson area. We are passionate about how the library is a dynamic and educational space for the community. When we decided we wanted to make a small literary magazine or zine, we knew we wanted a timely theme to inspire and guide the submissions. We landed on the theme of Los Angeles, past, present, and future, as we feel it represents the many changes our city has gone through over recent years and throughout history, as well as the themes and movements that have remained constant throughout Los Angeles history. And one thing I'll add is that we feel like this theme gives you potential for inspiration, but we also wanted a theme that doesn't constrict your art and writing. We didn't want something too specific. So hopefully all of you who are interested in submitting are able to come up with things or maybe find existing work that can fall into this theme. So I can detail a little bit about the three subsets of our theme, the past, present, and future. Speaking of the past, Los Angeles was first home to the Tongva people. This indigenous group had a deep connection to the land and a sophisticated knowledge of California flora and fauna. Indigenous environmental management practices, such as controlled burns, remove dehydrated brush from the dry chaparral biome, which is the biome we have in California, keeping it under control and preventing widespread natural disasters, such as extreme wildfires. It is important to note that Tongva people still live in Los Angeles. Native Americans still exist. They are an important aspect of Los Angeles's past and history as well as its present and future. Speaking of the present, the devastating Los Angeles wildfires shaped the beginning of 2025. With homes burnt, lives lost, and intense levels of air pollution, the fires devastated communities across LA. Historical landmarks, key wildlife habitat, and large urban communities were lost. Yet Angelinos found hope as we band together to uplift and support our peers. LA must take action against climate change if we want a future free of such disasters. Speaking of the future of our city will likely be as unique, exciting, and action-packed as its past and present. We can look toward new technologies, inventions that can hopefully foster cohabitation between nature and civilization. We should look toward our past, at the environmental management techniques of the Tongva, examine our present, one with a robust blend of culture, arts, and sciences, yet rife with environmental issues and social injustice, and hope for a future that takes the best aspects of our past and present and leaves out the troublesome, in hopes of creating a future that exemplifies the unity, creativity, and sense of community that brings pride to Angelinos. So that intro is an overview of what our zine is about, and hopefully some of those themes can inspire your work and your submissions. And I will say that you can cover a heavy topic with your art and writing, but you can also do something more mundane, more everyday. You could, for example, take a photograph of your favorite Los Angeles bakery or write a poem about a park that you like to go to. It can be something specific and everyday, but it can also be a big major theme. You can interpret the theme of the zine however you wish. Um, and now I'll show you guys our Google form. Can you see this?
Yes, we can see that.
Okay. So we've only received one response. So this is why we're really trying to do this advertising, because we really want this to come together and hopefully we can get a few more submissions from you guys. But this talks about our theme a little bit, as well as some of our requirements. Maximum 600 word count. We don't want writing submissions to be too long. And just to standardize things, 12-point Arial font, double spaced. Art, 2D, 3D comic. So really the art has no limits. If you're into pottery or sculpture, you could even submit something like that. These are just some examples of the type of art just to get you thinking. But anything really works. The only limitation is that it has to be in line with the theme of Los Angeles, past, present, and future. So if you submit, say, a painting of a dog and you don't explain how that somehow connects to Los Angeles, we won't be able to use that. But say it's a picture of a dog and you write something about how you bring it to your favorite Los Angeles dog park every day, then we might be able to use something like that. So that can get you thinking about if you have some existing work that might not immediately strike you as about Los Angeles, you might still be able to use it. So don't feel overwhelmed like you have to create something new all of a sudden. You still might be able to repurpose something that you've made in the past. And here's a note that if you want to submit art but you don't have access to a scanner or a camera, you can talk to your librarian and they can help you because the library has these resources. Our updated submission date, as Ziba said, is the end of May, May 31st. Here's a little bit more about, sorry, about Teen Council. This is open for teens age 11 to 18. If you know someone slightly younger or slightly older, but they're really passionate, um, they can still submit. It's not a hard rule. And it says Zine is expected to be published by late May, but now that's our due date, so it'll probably be a little bit after that. But here's the basic information that you have to fill in. It looks a little different because I'm on like the editor side of this, but you select these different things. So, does everyone who's interested in submitting, do you guys know how to navigate a Google form, or would you like me to talk through it?
I have a teen here that's getting hours in the participants list. So I'm trying to see if they want to submit. I'll give them even more hours. So I would say I'd give them an hour of volunteer credit per submission. How many submissions max per person are you accepting, James?
So for art, we accept two pieces, and that's the same for writing, two pieces of each. So in oh, and also if you're doing both, you can only do one of each, so you can't submit four things. So yeah, two, one writing, one art, or two writing and two art.
Oh, then great. So since this is very needed, I'll give double hours. So if our teens on the participant call from Van Nuys want to submit, I'll just ask James that it was submitted and then you'll get double the hours. So potentially 4 hours for submitting two pieces. So I hope that encourages everyone able um, to submit, even if maybe you're a senior in high school and you're 18, 19, that's still okay.
Yeah, and I just want to say, this is really a good opportunity for your resume, for your college applications. It could be great for you to say that you were published in a Los Angeles Public Library publication. So if you're someone who's interested in art or writing, this could really be your first step into publishing. And once you have one thing published, it's easier to get more things published because it gives you a sense of legitimacy when you're talking to other publishers, so this could really be a great way to get you started and be a doorway to other future opportunities. Here's the different things we need. Titles for all your submissions. Please don't put untitled. Um, yeah, that's basically it. So far, our one submission is an essay actually. It's really interesting. So it doesn't have to be the traditional things that you see like poems, photography. You can feel free to do more unique forms. Should I show some of this essay to inspire you guys maybe? Are you interested in seeing this?
Yeah, I'd love to see what someone submitted.
This is called Where LA Dreams and History Collide, Century City. It's where every teenager in LA posts on Snapchat to pull up, where the glamour stores are stacked one after the other, where you go for a pop-up event or to catch a grand movie opening at the AMC theater. The food court alone has enough options to keep you busy for hours. Honestly, you can't go wrong with the Century City Westfield Mall. But outside of being a go-to hangout spot, I didn't think much of Century City until two moments changed that for me. The first was watching Barbie in a theater almost 6,000 miles away, in Seoul, South Korea. It was 2 summers ago. Ironically, I always tended to watch newly released movies at the AMC theaters at the Westfield Century City Mall. But this time, I was in a completely different country, watching it with two Korean friends I had grown close to. And suddenly, there it was on screen, Century City Mall. Ryan Gosling was exploring the real world, and in a blink, I saw the very escalators I've ridden 100 times. The floors I've walked on without a second thought. My jaw literally dropped. My friends were like, "What's going on? Is it Ken's outfit?" But it wasn't that. It was seeing home, somewhere so familiar, pop up in a completely unexpected place. I later confirmed it. Yes, parts of Barbie were filmed at Century City. Out of all LA, why there? Why Century City? Maybe it's because Century City looks like a dream version of LA. Clean, modern, hyper-designed, the kind of place that could almost pass as a fantasy. That realization made me think more deeply about how this part of the city, what I used to think of as just a mall, has actually witnessed a lot. That brings me to the second moment. Because of Barbie, I started looking into Century City more, and I learned something that really struck me. Not too long ago, back in 1967, a massive anti-Vietnam War protest happened in Century City. Thousands marched in opposition, and it turned violent. Police cracked down hard. The city we hang out in today has history soaked in its sidewalks. That really hit me in a different way because of my family. My grandpa, on my dad's side, was a doctor during the Vietnam War. In his 20s, he worked with both South Korean and American soldiers. I still remember the stories he told me when I was younger. The war left him with permanent scars. He'd talk about the dehumanizing effect of it all, the loss of brotherhood, the constant blood, blood, blood. He never really stopped working after that. He became an anesthesiologist and worked all the way until he was 78. No retirement, just nonstop. The only reason why he retired was because he was diagnosed with ALS. A year after that, he passed away. If it weren't for the disease, I truly believe he would still be devoting his sweat and tears to humanity, taking care of others the way he always had. I think a part of him was still stuck in that war, even decades later. So now when I walk through Century City, it's no longer just a shopping center to me. It's layered. It's a film set. It's a protest site. It's a reminder of my grandpa's sacrifice, of how global history and local history overlap in ways we don't always notice, of how a mall can become something more. I was really moved by this submission, and I think it's a fantastic example of how the 600 word limit, it might seem limiting to some of you, but this writer, she was able to say so much within this constraint, connected to history, to places all over the world and make it feel personal. So this really goes to show that you can say a lot in 600 words or less, and you can really move someone. Um, I can show you two more examples of my personal submissions that I'm gonna put to the zine just to show you some more examples. This is a painting that I did called LA Keep Moving Forward, based on a picture that I took of my dad riding, driving the car. When I first took the picture and decided to make a painting of it, I didn't immediately think that it had to do with Los Angeles at large necessarily. But as I was working on the zine, I realized that it could be used. It shows the landscape. The little forward arrow can be connected to a greater message. Um, so this is another example of how you can use pre-existing work to and tie it to the theme of LA. Um, and then I have an example of a poem, but I don't want to keep reading too much. I don't want to like read so much to you guys. I want to make sure I answer any questions and stuff that you might have.
We do have an interest from Abby here. So Abby is hopefully going to submit 2 titles of writing to you by the end of the month. And I put the link in the chat for the Google Doc form.
That's wonderful. Is Abby here?
Yes, and was
Hi.
asking about
Uh-huh.
writing because they plan to write. And I'll give the volunteer hours for submitting.
Um, is there a specific question, or do you just want to know more about writing in general for this?
I think yeah, just as it goes with the theme, like what kind of writing are you looking for? Because maybe Abby has something already written that can be submitted, but maybe you wanted a certain length, so it has to be under that length.
I will say this because we've gotten so few submissions. We're being more lenient. So if you have something that's 700 words and you really love it the way it is, then don't go crazy trying to find tons of words to cut out. You can just send it our way as long as it's not um like 5 pages. Just I would say if it can fit basically on 2 pages, maybe 3 pages. But if it's slightly longer, don't worry too much. We just don't want anything that's super long. Um, and as I said, all writing styles we're open to see. We don't have a specific thing that we're looking for. We really just want to see how you interpret the prompt, because the beauty of this zine will be readers can see all the many different ways that people feel about LA, the different things LA means to different individuals. So don't feel like you have to conform to a certain style or a certain type of writing. We really want to see your unique voice and what you have to say as an individual. So really make it true to you. Um, and as for if it's on theme or not, it can be a little bit of a stretch. But like if it's obviously not about LA, then it'll be more difficult for us to use it. So try your best to connect it to the theme of LA past, present, and future in some way. But we really don't want you to feel limited by the theme. We want you to feel like you're able to use it in a way that's meaningful to you and showcases what you have to say. Um, and I could show this poem if you want to see another different example of writing. Do you think that would be helpful?
Yes, thank you. That'd be great. Oh, and who wrote the other one you just read about Barbie? Was that just someone you know or
That was someone at my school. Her name is Summer Park.
oh nice.
Um, this is a poem I wrote entitled California Coast. And this is something that I just wrote randomly when I was feeling inspired last year. I didn't write it with the intention of using it for this, but I was looking through my old writing to see if I had anything that could connect. And I found this, and I realized that it does work with the theme. So that's something you can do too if you have different poems in your notes app or Google Docs, just or all kinds of writing. Just look through and see if maybe there's something you forgot about, but it could work with the theme. But this is this poem, California Coast. Three sandpipers march along the shoreline, their bodies identical. Their beaks, plasticine twigs, differ in length and curvature. The birds move with precision, with caution, stop motion armatures. They ballet dance toward the water as the sea inhales, ice skate away from the salty spray, as the ocean extends its arms, pulling sand and crabs into its briny belly. It, the sea, has a hunger 10,984 feet deep. She laps at the shore endlessly, a cat drinking milk, a horse eating oats. It's an insatiable, painful hunger at times. Or, wait, sorry. It's an insatiable, painful hunger. At times, she cannot take it, and she howls, like a bloodhound on a crisp October night, until the earth cannot bear the dissonant sea shanty any longer. Earthquake breaks the howling tune into a thousand sound waves, and the waves begin to climb onto each other as they roll and fall, crumbling, tumbling, echoing like timpanis and aqua avalanche, tsunami. The troop of sandpipers feel the sliding grains below their scaly starfish feet. They see the water slip into the great green tide. For a breath, the shore is naked. A human screams, the water screams. It plows through air and land, ravenous, and the sandpipers, in fear and reflex, take flight. Usually, a kite has 4 points. This one has three. So that's a poem I wrote, and you can see it's very different from the essay submission, so that goes to show there are all sorts of ways to interpret the prompt. Um, yeah, we really just don't want you to feel limited by the prompt. We want you to feel inspired. Are there any other questions?
Oh, yes, Abby put a question in the chat. Is there
Let
a minimum of how long it has to be by any chance?
No minimum, no. Um, there are many great pieces of writing that are very short. I do the slam poetry team at my school, and we had a competition last week, and one person read a poem that was only 2 lines, and it did very well with the judges because it was unique. No one else did that, and she was able to say a lot using very few words. Lots of great writing is very short, so there's no minimum.
Thank you. And I like how in your poem the word earthquake was broken up into different pieces. So it's a
Oh,
visual.
thank you. Thank you. Um, any other questions? And if you come up with a question later that you didn't think of right now, I'll put the email that you can send your questions to in the chat. Um, okay. um, 1 second. Here is the email of Tenzing, our librarian advisor, and then I can also put my email in the chat in case Tenzing doesn't see your question. I'll probably see it very soon. So you can send any questions to either of us, but for submissions, make sure you do it through the form. And if you guys want to help with the advertising, I'll try to put the flyer into the chat, or maybe that doesn't work. I don't know if it'll let me attach a file actually, but spread the word at your schools and your different communities. Oh, thank you. Yeah.
There's a Zine Fest at Jefferson Park branch, and that's going to be hosted by the young adult librarian there. So I bet they have teens that could be interested in submitting to your call for zine submission.
Oh, that's wonderful. Does the Jefferson Library have a librarian that I can email?
Yes, I'll connect you. And they're also going to be there in person on Saturday, May 24th. I guess that's a week before your deadline. So maybe in person, there's teens that, since they're at a library zine fest, would want to submit to your zine.
That's a great idea. Yeah. Um, and then my brother Sebastian is also working on this with me. So if he has anything to say, I'll give him the floor.
Um, I think uh, James covered most of what there is to say about it. And, but yeah, I guess there's a lot of um, there are many opportunities and ways that you can interpret the prompt, like in terms of art, like not just writing. Like I'm creating a sculpture that I think represents um, what the theme is trying to say. So there's a lot that you can do within the themes, and you can use a lot of different media. And so yeah, I really want to emphasize that there's, even though James covered um, mostly writing examples, there are many different ways that you can go about creating your submission. So yeah, that's the main thing.
Do you have a draft of your art you could show us or any visuals to inspire us?
Um, I mean, I could, but it's sort of in its very first preliminary iteration, so it won't be too it's I wouldn't consider it like a fully um
You can
it's
just
not like a
show it
perfect.
to show that all the different stages are important.
Well, it's not like a fully it doesn't encompass like the full sculpture, I guess, that I'm trying to make. So maybe once it's more revised.
Thank you. I hope you get a lot of submissions, and I hope that we get a copy of your zine for our zine collection. We have a zine library here at our LAPL branch at Van Nuys, lapl.org/zines. Shows you a listing of all the collections, and I bet every collection would like a copy of your zine once it's finished and printed. And that way your message can get to all over LA. Physically, they can see it at all the zine library locations. We have about 10 locations from the total of 73 in the city.
That would be wonderful. Yes. And one more thing I thought of to add. Don't feel like you have to conform your work to the stereotypical image of LA. It doesn't have to be about like the beach or Hollywood. Feel really free to show your community because there are so many sides to Los Angeles that a lot of people don't usually see. Um, but be proud of your LA, what LA means to you, and really show that, and show all the different sides of LA. It doesn't just have to be wildlife or a park. It could be your neighborhood, a neighborhood business, anything that, because we all live in LA, so just whatever home means to you probably will correlate with the theme.
And here at the Van Nuys Library later this month, we're having a high school art show. So I'm gonna ask the art teacher if any of the pieces maybe related to LA they want to submit.
Oh, thank you so much. That's a wonderful idea.
You're welcome. Any way we can help. So if everyone on the call knows of anyone 11 to 18 or 10 to 19 in middle school, high school that has any kind of art or writing that could have to do with LA, that'd be great to submit to this Google form for you.
Yes, and want to really sincerely thank you for inviting us to this Zoom. I really appreciate it, and we really appreciate all that you're doing to help spread the awareness. It's super helpful, um, and we're so happy to be here today talking to you guys about this project.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome. And I have a question as well. So, how did you first hear of zines, and what made you want to do a zine as opposed to a magazine or a graphic novel or a comic or a mini comic or any other kind of format? Like, what drew you to zines specifically?
Um, I think mostly it was when we first met, Tenzing. She's the librarian who's helping us with the Robertson Teen Council. We discussed lots of different ideas of what we could do that would be meaningful. And my brother and I were both very passionate about art and writing, and we wanted to do something that would have a broader impact. And Tenzing herself is an illustrator, and she in college had done a lot of work with zines, and she brought her personal collection as well as two zines that she created about her Tibetan identity and showed them to us. And we really felt inspired and because of their small size, but also the physical nature of zines, because they're a tactile thing as opposed to just a blog or a website on social media. It creates a special connection, I feel, that is very powerful and allows you to interact with the art or writing in a more meaningful way than if it's just on your screen. So that's the main reason that we were drawn to zines.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad that that happened, and I love to see the zine that you saw. That sounds really interesting about the Tibetan background. Maybe we could get a copy for our zine collection. We have a lot
Yes,
of
I'll
great
ask
zines.
her on Wednesday we meet, so I'll ask her
Oh,
if she wants
yes.
to share it with you.
And then even maybe in the future, we could have them as a guest zine maker on our zine club on Zoom to talk all about their history with zines. I would love to see some illustrations and history.
Yes, I'll let her know. She's very knowledgeable about also like binding, like the book binding of a zine. Over our last few meetings, she showed us a special way to fold a piece of paper so that it turns into like a little book where you can flip through the pages. So that's been really cool to learn about that side of things.
And then outside of the library, did they talk about zines at all in your middle school or high school ever?
Honestly, I don't think no. Um, they haven't. But we've both learned about reading, writing, making art. We've had art classes over the years in school and done some creative writing projects in English. So I think those things sort of lead to this. But through the library is the main outlet that we've been exposed to zines in particular.
Well, thank you so much for sharing, and I'm gonna spread your call out to all the people I can think of, and definitely everyone here on the call if they could do the same. And any questions from Steph, Leslie, John, Abby, feel free. We have 10 minutes left. I'd love to get more questions and hear if also you know of anyone maybe 10 to 19 that would want to submit writing or art. Maybe Abby, if you have any peers at school or maybe an English teacher, art teacher, maybe they could spread the news throughout your school as well. We could give you extra hours for outreach. That could help. Maybe we could get the flyer you had, James. If you email me that flyer, then I'll email Abby the flyer.
Um, I can do that right now. Zine flyer. Um, the flyer, the only thing about it is that the due date is the old due date, but you can just cross it out and write May 31st. Oh, thank you, Steph. That's very kind of you. Um, what else? This could be a great thing if you guys are in high school looking toward college. This could be a great thing for your college applications to say that you were published or applying for different scholarships. This could be an important thing to mention that could help you.
So assuming you get a bunch more submissions by the end of the month, you're gonna publish or put it together probably by mid-June. And so that'd be real fun to hear about it. And I saw you had a Instagram reel or a video that Los Angeles Public Library made of your call for submissions. How did that come to be? Probably through your coordinator trying to get the call out.
Yes, that was very exciting. We um had asked Hillary, who is one of the librarians that's more in charge at the Robertson branch, if we could do anything with social media to advertise. And originally we just hoped it could get on the Instagram for the Robertson branch at least, but she was able to contact the videographer and one of the top social media people for the LA Public Library, and he came to visit us one day and he interviewed us, and it was super exciting. A little bit, we were a little bit nervous because we knew a lot of people were going to see it, but it was a great experience to practice doing an interview. Um, and an amazing moment when we saw that it was published and that so many people could find out about our project. And then Sebastian, my brother, and I were both a part of the Teens Leading Change program with the library, which is different from the teen council. And with that, we were doing a financial literacy project. So a few weekends ago, we were at the downtown library branch and we saw the videographer there. So we got to talk to him more. Um, so we've met a lot of great people from the library through doing this project.
Well, I saw the post and I helped spread the news on our socials. So hopefully people see that on Van Nuys Public Library socials. And I hope
Thank
you
you.
get submissions. You're welcome. And now that I have the flyer, I'm gonna email it out to some connections. And it sounds like we're gonna wrap up 5 minutes early, and I'll post this recording as well, and try to get people to submit. And I'll let our teens know at Van Nuys Public Library they can get hours for submitting, double hours. So I'm really trying. Let's help you. So let's get
Thank
your
you.
nice zine. You're welcome.
I really appreciate it. And we really look forward to seeing all of your art and writing, all of the unique things that you have to say. I'm excited to see your submissions over the next few weeks. If you're hesitant thinking, should I submit this? I don't know if it's good enough. Definitely do submit it. I'm sure we're gonna love it. So feel confident in your work.
Thank you both and have a good rest of your day, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. You're welcome. Bye.